Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the Ukraine war for the day of 271 for the 21st of November. Let's start off with one report that I missed out yesterday, which is actually that the Russian Defense Ministry reported that they have destroyed 2 HIMARS near Kramatorsk. So, of course, this is by the Russian Defense Ministry. If you believe it, then you believe it. If you don't believe them, then it didn't happen. So that also means that you can forget about half of this summary, because half of the summary will be from the Russian Defense Ministry. So moving on to the southern front at near Kherson, near this town of Dnipro, there is reportedly an attempt by the Ukrainian recon forces trying to cross the river near this town of Dnipro, probably trying to cross over to this land parcel here, and they got spotted, and they was reportedly eliminated. So there is fighting reported near Dnipro, and so this is not a major offensive force. Probably they are just sending some recon, some scouts, trying to see if there's any weak spot in the defenses, and see how they can penetrate, or perhaps cause some sabotage against the Russian defenders. But this also signifies that these land passes in the middle of the Dnipro River might actually be defended by the Russian forces. So yeah, this is something interesting, I feel. Moving on to the Zaporizhia region, or rather near Zaporizhia region, there is a reported concentration of forces at Pokrovsk. So Pokrovsk is this town over here, and this might signify that the Ukrainians are still planning to cross the Dnipro River around the Enohoda region to capture the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. And over at the Zaporizhia line, there is also reinforcement reported at Bilohirya, around here, and there was fighting reported at Novodarivka. Yesterday we reported that there is fighting reported at Rivnopil, so now the fighting is at Novodarivka, which would then mean that the Novopil is definitely under Ukrainian control. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna move back the border in this way, as both of these intels coming from the Russian Defense Ministry, which means that there is no reason for Novopil to be under Russian control. And there's no more fighting reported over at the Velika Novosilka region, and that's all from the Zaporizhia line. Over at the southern part of the Donetsk front, the Ukrainians continue their counteroffensive over at Palivka, Volodymyrivka, as well as at Novomikhailivka. However, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry disputed that they are on the offensive side by saying that the Russians are the one that is attacking at Novomikhailivka. And there is fighting reported at Marinka. Continue fighting at Marinka, and there is fighting reported at Krasnohorivka. So the fighting at Krasnohorivka has been paused for some time. So this attack is something that has revived again. Fighting continues to be reported at Pervomaisky. Unfortunately, or rather, fortunately, depending on how you stand on this, there's no fighting reported at Vodian nor at Nevelsky. Fighting flare up again at Kayamka in the northeastern side of Avdiivka city, and that's all from the Donetsk region. And on the eastern front, at the Bakhmut front, fighting is reported at Opyny, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Fighting is reported at Bakhmut, most probably on the southeastern side of Bakhmut city. The fighting at Pihorne is not repeated, so perhaps the attack was not successful, perhaps, not sure. We haven't seen the pro-Russian sources talking about the fighting in the northern or northeastern side of the Bakhmut city. And fighting is reported at Soledar, over here, and there's also fighting continuing at Yakovlivka. There is also reports of fighting over at Vasily in the Sivas front. according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, and fighting continues to be raging over at Bilhorivka, just east of Vasily. The attack on Sperne continues, and however, there is no reports of fighting over at Bilhorivka in the Luhansk region, just south of the Seversky Donetsk River here. And that's all from the Sivas front. At Crimea front, the Ukrainians, after resting for 1 day, resumed their attack towards Chervonopopivka, and there's also a separate attack towards Holikove. Both information is coming from the Russian Defense Ministry. And moving further up north to the Sviatove region, the Russians continued their attack on Stemakivka, and the Ukrainians attack towards Kuzemivka. So this region continues to be very mobile. And over at the Kupiansk region, there is reported fighting at Olyanske, according to Ryba, the pro-Russian source, and where the Ukrainians try to storm some position in some Russian high ground. So, and that's all from the Kupiansk front. And according to Russian sources, they say that the Ukrainians have been trying very hard to start an offensive over at the Zaporizhia line, particularly over at Hoyaipo and Orekhiv, with the primary objective first at Polohi and Tokmak, with a further aim to capture Milotopo, which is the regional capital or regional major city around the southern Zaporizhia region. However, they are unable to launch their offensive due to the lack of artillery, and also that they continuously getting a lot of casualties, and also that the Western vehicles and that they are or heavy equipment that they are getting is unable to traverse through the muddy season, because every time they go off road, the vehicles get stuck or they actually flip over, according to Russian sources. So, which is why this offensive that we have been waiting for, the Zaporizhia Great Super Duper Uber offensive from the Ukrainian side, did not come to fruition even until today. I've been waiting for this offensive for 2-3 months, and it's still not ongoing. A lot of report of troop movement, reinforcements, small skirmishes, and small attacks, but it did not accumulate into this did not accumulate into a major offensive that we had expected from the Ukrainian side. So something interesting to note. But as the snow falls, as winter comes, perhaps the Ukrainians will be able to attack, launch their offensive due to the hardening ground as the end of the muddy season. We shall see how this goes. And anyway, this is the summary for the day of 271 for the 21st of November for the Ukraine war, and I'll see you in the next update.